Good afternoon, everybody. My name is AJ Kuftic. I'm a digital product strategist with Expedient. I want to thank you for joining me today. Today, I have a wonderful announcement about our brand new multi-cloud firewall. For those of you, though, who are new to Expedient, we'll get there in a second. Whoops. Hi. Let's go through some housekeeping. Please enter all questions into the Q&A panel. It's about right here. That helps me keep track of all the questions. We'll answer those questions after this session. If you ask a question, you're entered to win a prize. That prize this week is a $100 Best Buy gift card. And all of this is being recorded, so you'll get a link in your email. So if you have to step away, you want to show it to somebody else, you can absolutely do that. That'll be also on our website, go.expedient.com/webinar replays, youtube.com/expedient, instagram.com/_expedient, and linkedin.com/expedient. Hey, everybody watching on LinkedIn Live today. I hope you're having a great day. So now, for those of you who are new to Expedient, we were founded in 2001. We started as a co-location company. We have now branched into 12 data centers in 8 cities. In 2007, we released our virtual co-location to be on the front edge of virtualization, and that's evolved into our Expedient Enterprise Cloud. In 2015, we released our push-button DR platform to be the fastest DR in the industry with full network failover. In 2018, we released our Enterprise Cloud. That provides a full cloud operating model for your VMware workloads without all the refactoring. And last year, we released our cloud native platform to power app modernization with Kubernetes as a service, cloud native storage, and full observability. And this year is all about multi-cloud. We want to help you on your multi-cloud journey. And let's face it, security is important here. But we kind of want to take a step back and think about the philosophy of that and how security is all about intent. And when I say intent, I think about intended activities or unintended activities. Intended activities are what we call known good activities. These may be things like my users access my application. That's a pretty good activity, right? But my admins maintaining my platform, maintaining my instances, that's a known good activity. My developers doing deployments into the environment, that's a known good activity. Logging, monitoring, ping, all of those things are known good activities. We are creating them. They are for a known purpose. We recognize them as good, and thus they are allowed. And then we have our unintended activities. These are the things that we just block, right? Anything that we don't intend to happen, anything that we would like to not happen, anything that we do not want to allow in there, we block because it is an unintended activity. It is not something that we know about, so we block all of it. And this may seem like a fairly heavy-handed maneuver, but when you do this, you ease your support because they don't have to think about, okay, is this a person who's allowed in or are they not allowed in? We only consider who is allowed in. It's very much like the front door of your house. You don't stand in front of your open door and just try to block everybody from getting in. You close your door, you lock it. And the only people who are allowed in are the people who have the keys. Everyone else is locked out. It's very, very simple. But here's the thing. This is easy to do on-prem, but it's a challenge at scale. Right now, we have in our on-prem environment, we have one set of VPNs, we have one firewall, we have one cloud that we have to maintain. It's pretty straightforward. The problem is that people want to go out and use other clouds. They want to go use a hyperscale cloud. They want to use an Expedient Enterprise Cloud. And they say, oh, now I have 2 firewalls and 2 VPNs. How do I maintain consistent policies across those? Well, I have to go into one and configure, and then I have to remember to go into the other one and configure it there. And then the moment I add yet another cloud, I have to go remember to go do that configuration there too. It's really, really hard, and scale creates problems because every time I add a cloud, I've added another place where I need to maintain. And the big issue there is that it creates this hugely inconsistent experience. I have multiple CLIs, multiple syntaxes that I need to remember. I have multiple authentication points. I now have multiple attack surfaces. I have multiple points of automation. Those automations are different, and thus it makes it really, really hard to keep up with scale. And we also know that most of our customers are utilizing more than one cloud today. So this isn't a new problem. This is something that's been going on for a very long time. So why is this a problem? Everything is now all over the place. It is scattered and scrambled. And the biggest piece that we lose here is our visibility. I can look at the Amazon firewall, I can look at my on-prem firewall, I can look at an Expedient firewall, but I can't see a holistic view of everything across all of those. So if I'm seeing an attack from the Amazon firewall, but I'm in my on-prem firewall, I can't tell where everything is going. I can't see where all of my attacks are coming from. And it can make for a very disjointed response. It also leads to inconsistent management. If I apply a rule to the Amazon firewall, I should probably be applying those rules to the other ones too, but that's additional changes, that's additional effort, that's additional support that has to be done to push that rule to those places. And even just the visibility you get inside of them is different. The Amazon security groups and firewalling is different than the Azure, which is different from Google, which is different from Expedient, which is different from on-prem. And each one of those requires a learning curve to figure out, where do I monitor my traffic? How do I keep up with all of this? How do I make sure that what I'm getting is the correct view? It's very, very hard to do that until now. Today, we are announcing our multi-cloud firewall. We want to scale consistently so that as you add clouds, it doesn't create additional support burdens. What we have is our singular firewall that you can manage the firewalls of each individual cloud as you go. That can be accessed through a GUI for our people who are very terrified of command lines, but that can also be accessed through an API or a CLI for our developers who want to add firewall rules and security groups into their code. We want to enable DevSecOps, and this is a great way to do it. By having one firewall, one management plane, I get a super consistent experience. I have one dashboard with one CLI and syntax, one login place, one point of automation, which means that my automation where I wrote a firewall rule or a firewall security policy, I can now apply that to other places. I can reuse this code and again, eliminate that support and eliminate that effort burden. What we do is take it from all over the place to bring it all together. We want our firewall to be able to manage everything together. You may notice that logo in the top left corner. This is all powered by Palo Alto Networks. And we can do things like manage multiple Palo Alto firewalls from one spot. If you're an existing Palo Alto customer today, we can manage those as well. It can be brought into the management plane, and now your security policies go across your existing firewall investments along with all of your cloud investments. We provide a single consistent view that allows you to get what you need in the event of an attack and also make sure that your day-to-day operations are successful. We also provide highly granular RBAC configurations. So I can do things like my operations people get read writes and maybe a few write configurations for operational purposes. My SOC may get heavy write capabilities to be able to mitigate attacks as they're happening. My developers might get limited rights to be able to just create new security policies, and my admins have the full admin rights to maintain everything inside of the platform. But the Palo Alto platform itself is managed by Expedient. You don't need to invest the heavy CapEx. You don't need to invest in all of the maintenance and learning all the things that you need to do to maintain the platform itself. We take care of that for you, and you're enabled as a service. It makes it super easy for you to get on board and start consuming your security policies quickly. But all that's really cool. Let's get into it. So we start inside of our main dashboard. And in here, you have a number of different widgets. I can move things around so you can make this look however you need it to look. I happen to like my top high-risk applications and my top applications right up front so I can see them as soon as I log in. I also have the ability to see system logs and my risk factor over the last 60 minutes to be able to keep up with changes that have happened since the last time I logged in. But one of my favorite parts about this is what's called the Application Control Center. What the Application Control Center does is it gives me the ability to see all of the network activity at an application level. It's not the individual connections and try to sort that all out. I can see it at an app level and see what's happening. You can see here, there's a lot of pings happening. That's not us. Just throwing that out there. In fact, this is all coming from various EC2 instances. Again, we didn't create those. That's just the internet being a very loud place. And so all of these are being used to figure out if IPs are alive, if these things are, or if, how are they responding? Are they responding to ping? Are they responding on certain ports? This is network scanning because this sits at the internet level. So we're seeing a ton of ping traffic over the last 24 hours from a bunch of EC2 instances. So, hey, everybody in the cloud that's trying to get in, no, thank you. One of the other things we see here is this big orange block for SIP. For those of you who don't know what SIP traffic is, it is a VoIP protocol. Yes, just like your phones. And what this has actually been used for is that there are some various vulnerabilities in this protocol. And so this traffic is kind of one of those little probing ones to see if that's open and available, because VoIP systems happen to sit on the internet a lot because phones need to be able to connect back to them. So this is actually a way that somebody's trying to get in, utilizing some maybe non-standard ways of attempting to get in. They're not. But if you want to, because you're a traditional networking person and you're used to seeing traditional firewall traffic, I can come into my traffic logs and see my very traditional traffic logs. And we're going to go ahead and try to resolve all of these source addresses to see where they're coming from. And I just want to say hello to all of our friends running their workloads in EC2, trying to get in. Sorry about your luck. One of the other things we can do is look at our app scope and see gainers and losers based on day over day traffic usage. So I can see that I have 6 SIP sessions attempted, 110 ping sessions, and 1 syslog session higher than yesterday. This is actually really, really great to be able to see where my traffic is going and how do I need to maneuver to pick up and protect against any sort of attacks coming in. I can also see where my bandwidth is going. This is actually really helpful, especially in a hypercloud environment, or hyperscale cloud environment, to see if there's any egress fees that you're missing. This is actually a way to keep on track with those, to see the bandwidth and the amount of traffic that's being used. I can also see my bandwidth consuming apps every hour here over the last 24 hours. And I see a whole lot of pings being used. One of the other neat capabilities is that I can create individual policies. And this is where that magic happens. So I can come down and I can create a pre-rule here, a security policy rule. You may look at this and say, oh, it's a firewall rule. You're right, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new security policy rule, and I'm going to call this no more Facebook for reasons. And so what I have here is a rule called no more Facebook. And I can create source and destinations. I can do this based on a number of different sets of metadata. So I can do things based on source zone. So I can pick any zone if we want to just go with any source, don't want it. Or I can get down to the user if you connect this to AD, and I can say any traffic coming from AJ, don't let it go to Facebook. Don't have to worry about that, but still. I can also set my destinations to any, or I can set it to any, or I can specify individual zones inside of that. So maybe I have a guest network that I want to use. I can utilize this to block that traffic. One of the things I really love, though, is that I hate looking up ports. I hate trying to figure out what port's being used. How do you detect that traffic? In here, Palo Alto has a absolutely massive application list. So I can just type in the word Facebook, and it pulls up all of the various traffic sources. And I can now utilize these. So I can say, I just want to block Facebook video. And Facebook video depends on Facebook base and web browsing. So it will add those as well. And then I can set a different action setting here. So I can allow, or I can just pure deny, or I can do drops, I can do resets, I can do a bunch of different things to send back the response that I want for my application or monitoring or user to see when they hit this. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and drop and send ICMP unreachable so that even if they try to ping Facebook, they can't get there. And this is where the real magic happens. What we can do is deploy Palo Altos into AWS or Azure or GCP, or even manage your on-prem ones and our own environment, and say, hey, this policy goes across all of them. I just created a security policy that I can apply to multiple clouds, and it's one click. In fact, this is the default. So that's actually a really powerful capability that we have in our platform to be able to deliver this. Or I can uncheck any and I can say, hey, just in the Expedient environment, I want to block that. I can get as granular as I need to keep up with my traffic. But in this case, we're going to pick any, and we're going to go ahead and let that go. I can also create applications internally to the platform. So I can see things like all of the ones in here, like ArcGIS, you may not have heard of that one. That's actually what a lot of municipalities and states use for mapping, so they can see roads and parcels. It's actually a really neat thing if you go look that up. Go look up your county, ArcGIS, and then have fun with maps. But one of the other things you can do here is create your own application. So if you know your application sits on the web and you know the ports that it uses, you can create the application and allow traffic into just that application if you want to. So it's not just the list that comes from Palo Alto, you can create your own as well. We're going to jump forward here to the panorama side, because these are the individual templates, not the full management. So in here, I can actually see the status of all of my firewalls that I can see across all of my various places. So here I have 3 sets of groupings. So I can actually see all 3 of them together and apply rules across them. We can also connect into various identity providers. So right now we're connected into our OneLogin platform. We can also connect to other platforms there as well. This is a super powerful platform that allows you to see all of your devices together, manage them, and create the effective RBAC needs, the RBAC roles that you have to be able to enable your customers, your developers, and your admins to be able to have a successful cloud security posture without all of the struggle. Because that's what we really want to do. We really want to bring this all together. Your ingress and egress traffic is just as important as your east-west traffic, authentication, your monitoring, your management, your AV. This is the front door to your house, and we want to help you protect that and make it easy to do that. We can manage cloud firewalls consistently, put our policies and rules across all of them. I can monitor traffic by application. So one of the things I actually didn't show was that you can go into that traffic monitor, the traditional individual connections, and you can use regex to search for things like BitTorrent or Facebook or Gmail to see your traffic and where it's coming from. You can simplify your intent-based security and make it easier for your support staff to handle. So what's next? You can go to our website, expedient.com/services/assessments, sign up for a free cloud assessment so that we can help you land your workloads on the right cloud. And you can go to expedient.com/services/multi-cloud, and you can see our entire cloud different vision and how we can help you enable your cloud operating model. We also have a brand new security page, so please go check that out under the services security page. And if you have any questions about compliance, we also have a brand new compliance page that you can check out to see all of the compliance regimes that we can help you with. And please join us next week. We're doing another customer Q&A. I love doing these because they're super interesting conversations. Next week is with Unlimited Systems to talk about more than business resiliency. And with that, I'm going to open it up for questions. Are there plans to roll out data centers in Canada? So right now, no. But we can land our cloud anywhere. Our cloud pods are able to be put into any locations. We do have cloud workloads running in Canadian data centers today. They just happen to be customer sites. But if you would like to land your workload inside of Canada because of data locality or sovereignty reasons, we can absolutely help with that. Does this firewall also have SD-WAN capability? It does. However, we have not done any sort of the testing to see about that. We're absolutely willing to work with you, so reach out to me so we can figure out what you need and see if we can actually figure out the support for that. Again, that's one of the biggest benefits of Expedient. If there's something in a product that you know exists that you'd like to use, let's see if we can figure out a way to make that work. Palo Alto has fairly confusing licensing requirements for various features for on-premises firewalls. Does the same type of licensing apply? We take care of all of the licensing. That's it, right? So it's very simple. When you buy a multi-cloud firewall from us, you're able to bring it in, to bring it on and use it. You don't have to worry about this feature, this management pack, this thing here. You're able to just use it. Our licensing takes care of that for you. Current version is 10.0. So we're running pen PanOS 10.0, for those of you who are wondering about that. Is there a process to move current firewall configurations to the Expedient multi-cloud firewall? We are working on a migration path. If you're an existing customer, we are working on a migration path literally right now. But we are also helping customers bring those in. That's something that we can sit down with you as part of the delivery process to make that work. Do we only support multi-cloud? Do we only support Palo Alto firewalls? I was reading two different questions at the same time. I apologize for that. Do you only support Palo Alto firewalls? What about Cisco and other network firewalls? We built our platform on Palo Alto because we believe it is the best of breed technology for our customer base. If you'd like to bring your own firewall, you can absolutely do that, right? Cisco has the ASAV. They have, I know that Juniper also has their VSRX firewall that we've used traditionally in our environment. We wanted to bring a best of breed technology to our customers. So if you have your own firewall that you want to use, you can bring that along. We happen to think that ours is better. What or where are some of the current limitations with Expedient that haven't been covered but come up with current customers? Part of the reason, I'll be really honest here, part of the reason that we're looking at Palo Alto is because we have hit our head on a number of the Juniper VSRX limitations, right? We want to be able to scale to meet our customers, and Palo Alto was a really great way to be able to deliver that capability across multiple clouds. And it enabled a number of things internally for us as well. So we wanted to go with, again, a best of breed solution. We're a technology curator, right? We have the same capabilities, but we're able to deliver those as a service to customers to make it easy to consume. And so that limitation was the limitations that we ran into were really just, we want to do more for our customers. And sometimes our technology was holding us back. In fact, that was one of the big reasons for Enterprise Cloud as well. We wanted to do more for our customers and provide the full cloud operating model, and we were limited with what we could do. So we made a way to do that. If we buy the multi-cloud firewall for you, that's an HA pair. Yes, absolutely. We do not do anything that's not HA because we want to maintain all of the uptime and all of those capabilities. So we don't do anything that's not an HA pair there. So we can build that all the way out. Does Expedient offer installation and configuration services to help customers get up and running? Absolutely. That's the big reason we do this, right? So you don't deploy the Palo Alto. We don't hand you an ISO and say, off you go. We deploy all of that for you. We get it connected. We sit down with you as part of the delivery process to help you get up and running because we want you to be successful. And that's what a managed service provider does. That's what we still are. And we want to be able to deliver that. So yes, we absolutely offer installation and configuration services to help get up and running. Does it have the ability to send alerts via email? Yes, absolutely. There's full monitoring here. This also can kick out alerts to our ticketing system, our SMC. So if you're a customer, you're familiar with SMC, we kick out tickets directly to that. So you will actually get tickets and alerts through us. We take care of all of that for you and even have a support engineer ready and willing to help you with those. Are these firewalls deployed on the VMware cloud? They're deployed on our VMware cloud. They can also be deployed into AWS, Azure, GCP, so you're able to land those workloads and deliver those there. But they are delivered on our VMware cloud. Can we use this firewall as a gateway for Azure VNet? Yes, it is a multi-cloud firewall. So we land the firewall in Azure and you manage the workloads there. How do we monitor multi-cloud environments? So with the firewall being in front of all of the traffic going out, you can monitor all of the traffic there, and it's all connected through Palo Alto's Panorama system. There are other things coming along with some of the additional roadmap that we have this year to help you with monitoring your multi-cloud workloads. And hopefully we should be able to talk about that a little bit more next month. Ooh, teaser. Don't tell anybody. It's not like this is being recorded and put on YouTube. We mentioned best of breed tech that we work with. Do we consult with businesses getting started looking at Expedient for building the solution from the ground up? We want to help our customers in any way that we can. And when we sit down with a customer, we look at the end-to-end solution capabilities. We want to help our customers with what they need. In fact, this next week, this one about unlimited systems was about a DR problem that they were having. And then they realized that it was more than a DR problem. So we want to help our customers end to end, because we recognize that everything can be a point solution. You might have file services, which you'll hear about on the 29th. You might have storage needs. You might have compute needs. You might have DR needs. And that might not be the bigger problem. The bigger problem may be in the stack. It may be in the operations. It may be in something else. So there's opportunities for us to help at every step along the way. So there are all of our technology stacks are point solutions that can be used to build an overall solution. So if a business is just getting started today, this is an awesome opportunity to build it right from the ground up and have all of those technology needs taken care of, instead of trying to build all of that support yourself and then try to move it later. Are these deployed in place of the edge gateways distributed firewall of NSX? No. So the NSX capabilities that we have in our enterprise cloud, that's not changing anytime soon. We recognize that the microsegmentation that's built into the platform is really great, and we want to continue using that. We are working on the NSXT migration. It's a bit of a challenge because we have a very big environment, so we want to make sure that we get it right the first time. But these are not going to replace those edge gateways or distributed firewalls. Those are still going to be in place as part of the networking of EEC today. We're going to wrap up. The winner of the prize this week is Mark Cremona. I want to congratulate Mark. Karen will be reaching out to you soon. Again, I want to remind everybody that next week we'll be back 12:30, April 22nd, to talk about more than business resiliency with one of our customers, Unlimited Systems. This is a really great conversation. I'm actually kind of mad that I didn't just record the prep call and put it out, because it was that great. So please join us next week. We're going to have a really great conversation with them, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks, everybody.